Hello.
Sir, you're live now.
Uh, are we live now? Should we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome you all to this first live session of our NPTEL course on food, oils and fats, chemistry and technology. I see that as a very few numbers of people have come to live. So whatever questions anyway you have, you please write down in the chat box. Then we will reply to your queries. In the meantime, I will take a few questions. In fact, there are one or two questions, technical questions, which were put by some of you in the forum. Although by the teaching assistants attached with the course, they have been regularly replying to your queries, but I found that most of the queries were related to the examination, related to the this your assignments and etc. There were again very few questions regarding to the technical aspects. Yes, one or two questions were there where people had certain doubts on the videos at certain point of time in some lecture video 1 and 2, and that has been clarified by the teaching associates. There were also one or two queries that yes, some people joined late and they wanted to do the assignments which they missed. I think in that case, you can also put a query to the NPTEL team, but I think the assignments, since their questions, reply and answers are already out, so those assignments, it may be difficult to consider because those assignments for which the answers or replies are not out, I think that can be considered. You may talk to the concerned, you may write your email to the NPTEL team. I am sure that they will definitely consider. Okay. There was one query by Mahalakshmi, and she wants to know that trivial nomenclature for the fatty acids. All right. So in the lecture, I have very clearly defined that is what are the fatty acids, and regarding trivial nomenclature, uh, depending upon the number of carbon atom present into the fatty acids, they are given, and whether they are saturated fatty acid, unsaturated fatty acid, etc., they are given some name. So the trivial nomenclature, in fact, involves naming the fatty acids using a common or non-systematic name rather than their systematic or IUPAC name. For example, there is a trivial fatty acid name is a palmitic acid. Palmitic acid is also known as C16-0. So C16-0 means 16 means it has 16 carbon atoms in its molecule, carbon atoms in its structure, and there are no unsaturated bond. Zero means zero unsaturated bond means it is a saturated fatty acid, and it's known as palmitic acid. All right, and sometimes even these names also indicate the source in which they are present in larger quantity. Like, for example, palmitic acid. Of course, some cases it may not be true for all the fatty acids, but some like palmitic acid, it is found in larger quantity comparatively in the palm oil, etc. So that similarly, you have another name like oleic acid or linoleic acid, linolenic acid, etc. So these are basically C18-1, C18-2, C18-3, like that. So here 18 means they contain 18 carbon atoms, all right, and 1 means that it has one double bond, means one unsaturated linkage, 2 means two double bond, and 3 represents three double bond, that is highly unsaturated or polyunsaturated fatty acids. And when is the same C18, if it is 0, it becomes stearic acid. So that is, so C18, and where that is the 3 unsaturated linolenic acid, means linolenic acid, oleic acid, all right, linoleic acid. So all these again, they represent some that linseed that is in the linolenic acid is found in comparatively larger amount in linseed oil. Oleic acid, comparatively larger amount in olive fruit, etc. So these are some of the things how these names for these fatty acids are derived. So that is good. Another question was there on the forum by Riddhi Avasthi, and she has written that what is biodiversity loss? Why is biodiversity loss associated with palm oil? Right. So yes, it is true that biodiversity loss is closely linked to palm oil production, and because that is the for the cultivation of the palm oil, extensive deforestation and habitat destruction takes place. All right, the forest etc. are removed to plant the palm oils. Okay, these plantations are often developed in tropical regions, that is the palm oil plantations in tropical regions, and which are among the most biodiverse ecosystem on earth. The clearing of forests to make way for palm oil cultivation results in direct destruction of habitats that supports a wide range of species, including many that are endangered species such as tigers, elephants, etc. And this habitat loss not only reduces the available living space for these species, but also it fragments the ecosystem, isolating wildlife populations and diminishing genetic diversity, and which can lead to the further population decline. So that is, so it is one otherwise that is if you see oil productivity as per unit area, that productivity of oil from the palm oil is much more, but that is one of the major problems. So we have to find out that is what are the how this palm oil area under cultivation, etc. If the palm oil varieties are developed, which can be uh, grown on other areas without which do not require deforestation, etc. That will be really a very novel approach for the cultivation of palm oil. Yes, that is. There are there is another question which has been posed by Tisa. She asked, please provide PTF for this subject. Yes, Ms. Trisa, if you go to the course page, course outline page, there is a link provided for downloading the transcripts. There is a transcript and download arrow. So by that, for all the 60 lectures, that is, for all the 12 weeks, transcripts are there. So please download and you will get, and in fact, I sincerely advise to you all that please download those. It will give you a very good valuable material that is in the, if you are interested, you can download and you can take print out and you can get it bound in a spiral bind form. So you will get a complete description of the course. Videos are there anyway with you, but this will provide a good reading materials. Also, there are books which we have recommended, and those books are also provided. Links for downloading the books is also given in the course outline. You can download that and read that. And for getting a good mark in this subject in the final examinations as well as in the assignments also, this transcript and the books, reading books will be highly desirable. The one who has a good reading a book, the ones who have gone through book, you will find all of whatever questions we are asking. Obviously, they are many of them are from the this your transcript and that is your video lectures. But there will be a few questions at least as per the requirement of the NPTEL. At least 25% of the questions will be there on the reasoning and other things from outside. Of course, this has been taught to you in the course, but this may directly you may not find. So if you have understood the subject video link and if you have read properly, the related materials, books, etc., you will be easily able to solve that. Mr. Ayush is asking, is studying the assignment enough for the exam? I think I have already replied to this query. Yes, assignments as well as video lectures and some books, recommended books, all those things. So at least if you are thorough, you have done all the assignment properly, and if you have understood, because there might be in the final examinations, there might be definitely a few some questions which will be based on the assignment, not exactly the question which has been asked in the assignment, but in the similar type of question. So if you have done assignment on your own with that, definitely you will be able to solve the questions in the final examination as well. Similarly, in the final examination, there will be a few questions from the video link, and as I told earlier, there may be a few questions from the general reasoning based on your to assess the knowledge that you have gained out of this subject. So this will be. Yes. There are, as Nirbhay Kumar, sir, I missed submitting 2 assignments. Can I still register for the exam? I think yes, you can register definitely. There is no problem because in the assignment, there are total 12 assignments we are giving, and also there was one 0 assignment. So there are 13 assignment, and it is taken 8 best assignments. So out of those 13, that is 0 assignment 0 to assignment 12. So it will be in the final your that certificate in the total mark calculation, 8 best assignments will be considered. So you have still a fair chance. You can definitely register the exam. In fact, I think the registration last date for the registration of the examination in the examination is, I think, 23rd. So it may be perhaps tomorrow. So I advise you all to register, because if you want to take credit, obviously in your degree, wherever, if you are a student and you want to earn credit, right, under the new education policy NEP program, so you can write the examination and try for the best grades. So it can be included in the credit. So these were the question. Yes, all those who are there in the live, if you have any queries, please write down you can ask anything related to course, or if you have any other queries related to in general in food science and technology, general related to food science and technology, other things, that also I would be happy to respond to that. But yes, first preference is about the course. That if you have any queries about the course, if you are finding any difficulty, I think I'm sure that yes, I find that in the forum also, not many of you are really active. Of course, a few of you are active and writing down your queries, and it is being answered by your teaching assistants. So please, those who have joined live, those who are live now, please write, let me know, how can I help you? How can we, any queries, please write. And if no queries come, we will just continue for another 4 or 5 minutes. After that, we will stop this live session if we do not get any queries from you. No queries? Anyone? Not yet. It is 5:15. We'll wait for another 2 or 3 minutes. If we do not get any question, any query in the chat box, we will close down. So we'll close down at 5:18 sharp. So if you have any query or question, please write. Nirvay Kumar. Yes, there is a question from Nirbhay Kumar. As coconut oil is rich in saturated fatty acid, is it good to use it as cooking oil? Because in South India, people use it in since ancient time. Yes, 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 definitely. This coconut oil is considered a very good. Yes, there is a question from Nirbhay Kumar. As that this coconut oil, they are, as you have very right, that in South India, from the ancient time, it is used for cooking purposes, and it has very good health values. All right, is this it has a special characteristic flavor which is liked by people. So foods which are that fried or cooked in the, they get the special flavor of the that coconut oil, and which is liked by the people, particularly. ईमेल खुला है ये ये जूम मीटिंग Yes, sorry, there was some power cut, so sorry for the interruption. So we were discussing the these questions on the cooking oil. So as what I was telling, that cooking oils, it has a very special type of flavor, and which is liked by those people, particularly in the South Indian regions, South Asian regions. So that is a, even recently there are some reports published that this coconut oil or palm oil cream that has got a very good neuroprotectant properties. The people, those who suffer, that is old age people, that is those who suffer from that memory loss, etc. That is report says that if they take coconut oil cream, all right, like that as a on the bread, etc. You can use it as a spread or used in the for cooking purpose or used as such. Then this that is improves the memory and other such related cases. So similarly, this is one case. Similarly, there are many other instances where it is available that cooking oil is very good healthy oil, right? And the characteristics, that the properties of this, if you see that heat transfer coefficient and other things, the properties of the browning characteristics and properties of the food which are fried in coconut oil, etc. So all these are very good. So yes, I say that yes, we must definitely should we encourage the cooking use of that your coconut oil or food cooking purposes must be encouraged. And in fact, the other in Kerala and other southern part of the country, it is being used. Definitely, even now, its use is also going to other part of the countries, and significant amount of people from the northern part of the country and from other, they are now using coconut oil for cooking purposes. Yes. There is a question from Jiva. In general, the density of an oil decreases with the molecular weight and increase with the unsaturation of fatty acids. Why? You see that this molecular weight means if the molecular weight is more, means that is larger number of, that is the molecules are there, long chain fatty acids, etc. There will be more number of carbon atoms and all the things. So obviously it will. So larger the polymer chain, higher will be the density. Okay. And then what is the molecular weight? And increase with the unsaturation of the fatty acids. Okay. I think density of the oil will decrease with the increase in the unsaturation of the fatty acids. If the fatty acids are more, that is the, if the oil becomes more unsaturated fatty, it becomes the oil, that is the degree of unsaturation is more, so it becomes, its specific gravity or density will be less and it will be in the oily state. Okay, whereas if the this more saturated fatty acids are there, more molecular weight is there, so it will be more dense. Okay, density will be more. Yes. Chemical difference between ghee and edible oil. Okay, chemical difference between ghee and edible oil. It is basically the fatty acid composition, fatty acid profile in any. Otherwise, you can say all the oils, that is, these are the lipids, whether they are oil, whether they are ghee, they are hydrogenated fat, plant fats, plant oils, or animal. So generally, the ghee, we tell it is a animal fat. Animal fat, solid fat, which is derived from either cow, buffalo, or such, that way. And it has more amount of unsaturated fatty acids. No, sorry. It has more amount of saturated fatty acid comparatively, and that is why it is solid at room temperature. And this is, so you can, chemical differences means saturated fatty acid. Normally, if you see that the fatty acid which has a shorter chain, that is normally C4 to C8, C10, C12. So in this ghee, that is short chain fatty acid. particularly C4, C6, C8, etc., they are found in more quantity. All right. So they are more saturated, more dense and solid at room temperature. Whereas the edible oils, etc., these edible oil, they normally contain larger fatty acid, like large fatty acid means C18 mostly, and that too polyunsaturated, more polyunsaturated fatty acids are there in this oil they contain. That's why they are liquid at room temperature, because of their high degree of unsaturation. If this is saturated at same, the vanaspati, dalda, etc., hydrogenated fats are there. They are, in fact, hydrogen is added at a particular rate in these oils, and these liquid oils are converted into solid fats. So apart from the other characteristics like viscosity, density, melting point, smoke point, and all those things, that major, you can say, and all these properties, differences in these properties are mainly related to the fatty acid profile of these oils. So the fatty acid chain length, its saturation, unsaturation, and all those things, number of carbon atoms, these. So the major chemical difference, you can say, is the fatty acid profile in this, whether it is ghee, whether it is the dalda, vanaspati, or edible oil. Okay. Otherwise, that is the chemically, you can say, otherwise they are all triglyceride. Triglyceride means there are a glycerol molecule and three fatty acids are they attached, esterified with the three alcoholic groups. So it becomes a triglyceride molecule. And most of the food fats are they are mixtures of mixed triglycerides. Mixed triglycerides means all the three fatty acids are different one from the different, maybe that is R1, R2, R3, which I have given already in the structure. They may be different ones. In some oil might have butyric acid, other may be palmitic acid, other may be oleic acid, linoleic acid, and so on. Yes. Jiva, sir. Larger chain fatty acid with unsaturation or saturation. How the correlation is with molecular weight. Can you explain? You see, the molecular weight means that if the fatty acid is a larger chain, all right, it will have a higher, more molecular weight. Shorter chain, it will have a smaller molecular weight. You see that it is, as I was explaining, that it is a triglyceride. In the triglyceride, glycerol is molecule is there, but only thing that these three fatty acids are there. So three fatty acids, suppose all these three fatty acids are that higher chain, larger chain fatty acids, C18, C22, etc. So obviously that will have, if the one, there is a fatty acid which has a short chain fatty acid in this three, all the three molecules are short chain fatty acid. So that will have a lesser molecular weight, etc. Okay, and with the unsaturation or saturation. Again, unsaturation and saturation means that is the more hydrogen bonds, that is the saturation, it means all carbon balances are satisfied with the hydrogen bond. And unsaturation means more unsaturation means there are more number of this balances, though more number of the carbon balances are unsaturated, more number of double bonds are there. Okay, so this again, when there is a more number of double bonds, at least there will be less that its molecular orientation, molecular weight, etc., will be definitely comparatively less. But more will be if that is, suppose you have a short chain fatty acids, which are generally more number of saturated fatty acids. So that will have a, or if a long chain fatty, that will have much more effect on the molecular weight rather than the saturation and unsaturation. Of course, the it will have some effect, but comparatively, that chain length will have more effect. Yes. Is there any?
Indians are using mustard oil as cooking oil with no major health issue, but it is banned in European countries and USA because of presence of uric acid. Please explain it.
We Indians are using mustard oil as cooking oil with no major health issue, but it is banned in European countries and USA because of presence of uric acid. Please explain. Yes. All right. As that is the mustard oil is we are having no issue. We are eating it, but as in the mustard oil, particularly the mustard oil seed cakes, etc., mustard oil cake, which is so this uric acid or uric acid, which finally converted into hydrocyanic acid, and it contains some enzyme in the mustard seed, which that is enzymes. It converts into hydrocyanic acid. So it is as a so although this is during the extraction of oil, this is not a problem if the mustard oil, it's a mustard seed, its moisture is controlled. So before it is extracted and it is dried and these enzymes is taken care of, so oil we extract. And one thing in India, we have been traditionally using this mustard oil because we like its pungent flavor. The consumer here like it, like its pungent flavors, and maybe we can say that at least we did not find any that problem with the use of the mustard oil. Maybe our body resistance and other thing associated with. But in European countries and where are the more stringent laws, and the people are also, they might be more sensitive to such acids, etc. That's why it is not. It is not. But I don't think that it is completely banned if the refined mustard oil or this uric acid content, uric acid content, etc., if they are removed, then it can be. But if it is banned in the Europe or USA, completely the mustard oil, the reason might be there significant amount of these acids and desirable components, and those countries, the people's tolerance to these conditions. But I think I am not very sure on this. And in India, we have been using and we have no issues major. Of course, there is now even refined mustard oil or even filtered mustard oil, even kachi ghani and all those oils, they are very popular because of this. Maybe that even European people and these USA people, etc., they might not be feeling that they might not be very comfortable with this strong and pungent flavor of that. Like you see, the spices, etc., we like more spicy food, but they don't like spices, etc. So that otherwise there is not much any reason why it should be banned. I do not find any reason, but that may be people tolerance, geometry, local, regional factors, etc., which might be the reason. Maybe people's choices, etc., people might not be. Yes. Mhm. Jiva Amalike, the natural pressed oil will contain triglyceride and other oil components in minimum quantities, like tocopherol, etc., compared to refined oils. Here, oxidative stability is better in natural pressed oils or refined oils. You see, natural pressed oil, obviously, that is in the oil, if you are talking about vegetable oils, that along with this, depending upon the pressing conditions, extraction conditions, along with the triglyceride, some other components, they also get extracted sometimes, the color compounds, even sometimes that phospholipids, etc., other components, they get extracted, even what you have told, that vitamin tocopherols and all those things are. So even that aldehydes, ketones, sometimes depending upon the extraction condition, these triglycerides may be broken into, hydrolyzed into triglyceride, monoglyceride, etc. So the IL, naturally pressed IL, it might contain a mixture of, that is triglyceride, diglyceride, monoglyceride, free fatty acids, aldehydes, other coloring compounds, pigment, chlorophyll, etc. So the refining is basically done to remove all these factors. That is all these undesirable. Basically, when we say that it should be a triglycerides, right? So the other impurities like free fatty acid, etc., even these phospholipids, other components. So undesirable components, which are otherwise, which may increase, create problem during processing and the others, and during storage and other things, then they are removed. Right? Regarding stability, so the other part of the question, that is oxidative stability. Okay, so oxidative stability in the question is better in naturally pressed IL or in the refined IL. You see that stability, oxidative stability is mainly dependent upon that if there are more number of polyunsaturated fatty acids. All right. So more the polyunsaturated fatty acids, more it is vulnerable to the oxidative stability. So whether it is naturally pressed IL or it is a refined IL, if care is not taken, it will be vulnerable to oxidative rancidity. It will be more prone to oxidative rancidity if the more unsaturation is there. So that is a, it is, we cannot say that that if it is a naturally pressed IL, it will be less prone to oxidative stability. Refined IL will be more prone to oxidative stability. Yes, it will be depend upon mainly the composition of the free fatty acids again. So it has to be taken care of the oxidative stability, that is antioxidants to be used. There are other methods to reduce the oxidation. There are various factors like light and metal ions and others which can increase the oxidation. So in the naturally, in fact, many times the ILs are not refined, rather just they are filtered to remove all these things. But in that case also, to protect it from the oxidative stability, say suitable packaging material, that is the barrier material to light, barrier material to oxygen, etc. All those things are taken care of. So both, if they get, whether it is a naturally pressed IL, unrefined IL, or refined IL, if they come in contact with oxygen, all right, if there is sufficient unsaturation in the IL, which is generally there in the case of IL, they will be oxidized and rancid flavor will be developed. So this would be protected with the antioxidants and other such methods. All right, good. At least Avlet, we could get some technical questions. If there are quite a few, we can take up. Otherwise, we will close the session.
Thank you, sir. Nucleation calculation can be applied for 100% fats and oil, or can be applied in chocolate and creams, added with respective oil. Please add some more.
Nucleation calculation क्या है? Sir, nucleation calculation can be applied for 100% fats and oils, or can be applied in chocolate and cream added with respective oils. Please share, all right, some more details. I think this question I will ask the TS. They will put this question in your paper, because what you are actually want. What do you mean by nucleation calculation? That is degree of nucleation is talking about. You elaborate little bit. So obviously you see that what is happening in 100% fats and oils, and can be applied in chocolates and creams also. What is the question basically you want to ask? That is that. So if you elaborate these questions in the forum, definitely we will reply to you suitably, right? But this in the chocolate also, what you make the chocolate, basically it is the cream, that is basically the type of the fatty acids which are there in the chocolates and its fatty acid profile. So, and because of this, it has the special, that is melting characteristics. And the nucleation calculation, nucleation, what I understand, that the crystallization. If you say the nucleation related to the crystallization, then again here also there is the different types of crystals which is formed, that will again depend upon the fatty acid profile and its structure, etc. And that's why this even coconut oil, they have the cocoa chocolate, cocoa butter chocolate, they have their fatty acid profile is such a is that they give specific polymers of crystals of fatty acid, and which solidifies it. Chocolate, it has a melting, that in the mouth it melts, and then it in hand it becomes soft, and in the room temperature it is semi solid, etc. Okay, they're crystalline of oils at particular temperature. That's what I was telling. So it can be applied checked in creams, chocolates. Yes, definitely. That is what I am trying to. That is your polymorphic crystallization. Crystallization. What is that? The controlled removal of heat of crystallization from the oil. That is what, when you prepare banaspati, all right, the banaspati, then it is the selectivity issue, that you can specifically remove the heat of crystallization, add hydrogen, etc., and the solid fats, liquid oil becomes solid fat. Similarly, that when you do the tempering, that is tempering, that is the fat becomes solid, and then in the tempering, different specific polymorphs are formed. And in fact, these polymorphs in different oils and fats, vegetable fats, the selective hydrogenation is done to get different types of polymorphs, like in the margarine, in such other products for use in bakery products, in confectionery products, similarly in the chocolate, and in all these things different. I think you study whether we have reached up to the modified fats or not. If you go to that in the later weeks, it will come the different crystallization and modification of the fats, etc. What are the various factors we have discussed in 1 week? We have taken in the latter part of the course. It will come the modification of fats and oil. So in the chocolate also, there are in fact 5-6 phases of the crystals formation, whether you are getting more uniform, and these improves that. In the case of chocolate, there is crystal morphology, it improves the eating characteristics, or even it improves in the case of fats, etc. Other in margarine, all those things, it improves the plasticity, its spreadability, and all various characteristics, physical properties, etc. These are all is specific there. So yes, crystallization of oil at particular temperature. Okay, that is, you mean nucleation. So it can be applied and checked in creams as well as in chocolates. In fact, in chocolate, it is practically done by the industry to get the chocolate with various eating qualities, various morphological properties, etc. Various crystal polymorphs, etc. It is more applicable, rather, I would say. And similarly, in the hydrogenation of the fats, making the, because that you are making polymers, different crystals are formed, alpha, beta dash, etc. And these crystals, subcellular packing, they will have, some will have more air incorporation, and some will have the less air incorporation with higher volume of air, higher size, and some of the crystals which are formed, they will allow the incorporation of more air with lesser air bubble size, particle size, etc. And that's why its suitability in the particular bakery operation, in the creaming operations, in that cake mixing, etc. It is, and many times fats are suitably tempered to get a proper crystal size, proper polybar crystal size, to have the desired characteristic, desired property. It can be done in the this vegetable oils. Similarly, in the dairy cream also, you see in the dairy cream, when it is crystallized at controlled conditions, you get the proper crystals in the ghee, etc. And this subcellular packing, and it gives the even the eating correct qualities, other characteristics in the butter, its spreadability, all those things are in the margarine, which is the vegetable butter. This crystallization plays a very important role. In chocolate also, the cocoa plays very important role. Can be done. Yes. Good. Good question. The details of this crystallization, etc., modified fats we have discussed. We have devoted a week completely on this aspect. It will come in the later part of the course. Wait. Any more question? Now it is 5:47. So no question, no question. Karte karte, we have come to good, good, get activated. So at least again 2-3 minutes we will wait, right? If we get some questions, all right. Otherwise, 5:50 we will. It is 5:48. 5:50 we will stop this. If we do not get any more question. टोटल कितने अभी 8 I think now we can stop. Okay. Thank you very much. Those who joined this live session, all the best to you all. As even those who did not join, all the best for their future endeavors. Also, that maybe we will meet again after 1 month for the second live session. Until then, I advise you all to please, wherever you are getting any problem, any queries, you actively participate. You put all your queries in the chat box, in the forum, question and answer session, and in the forum, or that teaching TAs, definitely they will reply. And if you have any other queries, even you can write directly, email, you can directly email to us. Definitely we will respond to your queries. Thank you all. Thank you very much. All the best. In PTL, we can close it down. Adi, NPTEL team. Let's stop